Bisola Johnson, when she first came to the Synagogue Church of All Nations, an insecure and unstable young woman.
Until 1981, ni mo ti wà ní town. So it's like falling into bad category, bad friends. So there was a time to I was living in Eco Meridian for about 3 years, permanent, living there. The place is for me, money is for me, everything is for me. I smoked for 14 years. So, but more at school, boyfriend mini school. So, by Igbo. So we started having it together. So, but more in school to mobile transfer me Kano. So that was where I really started, moving around. So I was with 2 governors. So our commissioners, some of them, they knows my house. So we do business together, and I collect money, but there was no peace, there was no happiness.
She recounts her past life of associating with bad friends and questionable relationships with different men. She said that she was living in the Eco Meridian Hotel in a permanent suite for several years, saying that the place was for her, money was for her, everything was for her. She said that she smoked for 14 years, taking marijuana. Yet, she was accepted into the Synagogue Church of All Nations. What should one have expected from her? This is Bisola Johnson when she left the ministry over 1 year ago. But where has Bisola Johnson been for the past 1 year? Today she is spreading lies to the world at large, as if she left the Synagogue Church of All Nations only yesterday. All this is in a vain effort to coax people into accepting her deceitful stories.
This is a woman who tried using different means to spread a web of lies and deceit concerning the Synagogue Church of All Nations. This DVD is one of the mediums in which she narrates a fabricated tale of how she said she came to the Synagogue Church of All Nations.
Sometime 14 years ago, close to 14 years ago, I came to the Synagogue Church. At this time, my family just recovered from a fire outbreak in our home. And at that particular time, it's like we needed God and we needed help, actually. My father's friend introduced him to the Synagogue Church, mainly because of my father's malignant sickness. He came and invited some of his children, and many of them turned down the invitation. Unfortunately, I would say for me, I came with him.
You have heard the story that Bisola gave after she had turned her back on the Synagogue Church of All Nations. Now you are about to watch actual footage from the Synagogue Church of All Nations archives of how Bisola truly came to the Synagogue Church of All Nations. Let us go back to the time, many years ago, when in a hopeless state she revealed what had really brought her to the Synagogue Church of All Nations.
Please, I want to do everything to please God and to please you because of what God has done for me.
Tell us what brought you initially to this church and what God saved you from.
God saved me from spirit of death. Because before, every time I always think of death. I always dream of death. Even when I was working. Anytime I'm in a position and I have a terrible dream, they always demote me or something always happens. I've tried 7 times to get married. It doesn't work out. I've even used money in buying people. It doesn't work out.
This is a stark contradiction of her former tale that she had merely come to the Synagogue Church of All Nations after her family were recovering from a fire outbreak, and as she stated, because of her father's malignant sickness. Whereas, in actual fact, Driven by the spirit of death, she arrived at the Synagogue Church of All Nations, desperately seeking deliverance. What could possibly have led Bisola to invent such a tale? We believe this will be the question that will be going through your mind. Watch the following footage and find out.
What is the problem you have with your brain?
I always have a terrible headache, which is called migraine. And anytime it happens, I always misbehave. I don't care about what happens in my surroundings. I always behave irrationally. I don't care about what happens to me next.
Tell us what normally happens to you, the experiences you have when this migraine comes.
I always have terrible nightmares. So these nightmares always haunt me. I don't regard anybody. I just behave the way my spirit dictates to me. Anything my spirit says, I will just do it.
If you have ever experienced a migraine, you will know what effect it has on your ability to reason well. What you have just heard is enough to discredit any story Bisola may have spread, as she confessed that when that migraine headache comes upon her, she has no regard for herself, let alone her surroundings or anyone else.
This is Bisola being prayed for. Here she is being prayed for a second time.